Today I'm going to unbag and take a look at Poor Bloody Infantry, over the top at the Somme, July 1916. This is a solitaire tactical level World War I game. This is the Zip edition and it's from Minden Games. And I believe that this is pretty old, meaning that I picked this up within the last decade. How about let's say that. Might have been, yeah, probably within the last decade. This is from Minden Games, which are not known for their high production value boxed games. They have a lot of Ziplocs. They also do a lot of games in book format or as part of a book or magazine type format, which are just kind of in the magazine itself, and so you have to do it yourself with the components. Usually make copies or heaven forbid cut stuff out of a book and make your own components, that either the counters or the maps and the like. This Poor Bloody Infantry, I believe, I need to do my research on this, but I believe that this has been republished or printed in different formats. This might have been one of the first editions. This is called the Zip edition. I believe that this was also put in one of their books or in kind of a book format. I'll put a link to some of my Minden Games coverage so you can see what I'm talking about when they're kind of book / magazine kind of formats. It's more of a bound version than just a magazine that's stapled. But I think this was republished or done in that format, and this might have actually been as a standalone game as well. Sometimes they put a collection of 2 or 3 games or more in a book type format, and sometimes they just do it as a standalone book. So again, I don't know. I believe that there's been different versions of this, but this is the version I have. So let's take a look here in this little bag here, and it's really small format. Again, Minden Games. One of their the things I like about them is it's somewhat minimalistic, right? There's not a lot of chrome and glitz and glory. They're trying to simulate something. More often than not, a naval game. They do a lot of naval type games. And some air games as well, but they're trying to simulate a situation and give you just enough to get a feel for that. They're not trying to go out to great lengths to make it overly complicated. Now, they usually tend to have optional rules and or advanced rules. I mean, they'll have different rule sets, but the core game is usually kind of bare bones. But let's see what we have here. I got a little sticker on the top of this, so this shows when I got it from Noble Knight. Look at that. There's no date on that, but I got this again within the last decade. So you got some charts on here. So let's take a look and see what we have in the bag itself. As I said, I got this and I haven't. I haven't played it because I don't think I cut out any of the stuff. So there's your rule book there, and here is your game components. So you have there's your map. So it's relatively simplistic there. You just got a grid on colored paper. It's a little bit thicker paper, but it's a grid. And then you have your counters that need to be cut out. And this is not all a lot of times they're games that come in book format. They're just in the book, these counter sheets. So you just need to make a copy of it. And I usually make a copy and put it on a sticker sheet of this size. So then I cut it out and I can I paste the sticker on some thicker board and then cut it out from that way so I can make counters. But sometimes they do sell expansion kits or kits that have all the counters and charts, and they'll come like this. They'll come on this kind of paper, but that's your counters. You need to cut these out. So you've got some individually named people there. You have some machine guns, you have some wire, and you have a status. It looks like crawl and pin, and then football. Look at that. So this is 2011 printing of this, and I probably got this maybe around that time frame, if not a little bit later. So let's take a look at the rules here. This is solitaire, so you are going to be moving on this grid. Here's no man's land. Here's the German trench. Here is the British trench. So this is no man's land here. So the rules are 12 pages, as you can see here. With this is the main game tables here. You have an event table, you have a fire combat table, you have a hit table, and you have a casualty table. And since you have individually named soldiers, this is at the individual level as far as small unit tactical goes. Small unit tactical, in my definition, is, you know, platoon on down. So platoon, squad, team, and individuals. So here's your map board coordinates. And let's see here. This is a zip edition war game. So these they tried out with these little small zip editions, which I picked up a few of these anyway. So along the way. So, but I think they eventually did start putting some of these in books. So we got here. Here's the components. The setup. As you can see, the print is relatively small, but the pages. This isn't a huge book, but you got a little relatively small print here. Here's the setup. Here's the sequence of play. You have the events phase, movement phase, fire phase, and artillery phase. Skip unless German artillery is activated. So there's a chance that maybe that gets activated in the events. Not sure certain. Here's bombardment, events, fire combat, hit table, casualty. Those are the charts that are on the back. Here's your random location table. So it looks like that's part of artillery here. So you have fire, artillery. Then you have victory conditions, and then looks like you have some scenarios here. So, or optional rules right here. So here's options. As I said before, they usually have a base game, and then they'll add in like more rules that you can, are somewhat modular. You can add them in at your own discretion. If you want to, you know, add some more realism, whatever that is, or complexity, then you can add them in. So here's victory conditions to win the game. The soldiers representing you must be alive at the end of the game. Wounded is okay. And the British must have captured the German trench. If either or both of these conditions are not yet met, you lose the game. Wow. So I guess you determine. I don't know if you represent all the soldiers. Maybe you just pick out which soldiers you represent, but you have to capture the German trench here. So a little bit of a Stratego feel there, right? And I need to cover Stratego at some point. Anyway, there we go. And here's the scenarios. So you've got Red Hand, 10th West, Advance the 4th, and 16th Middlesex. So you got 4 scenarios there. You've got optional rules. You've got more optional rules. And then you've got the counter manifest that is right here. And then that's it. You got a chart. So that is Poor Bloody Infantry over the top at the Somme, July 16th, from Minden Games, a solitaire tactical level World War I game. A couple of things here that jump out at me. There's not a lot of tactical level World War I games, at least, you know, at the individual level. So that's unlike, you know, Squad Leader and Advanced Squad Leader and all the other squad level World War II games. You don't really see a lot of that ported over into World War I. There's a little bit out there, but not. Usually it's at a higher scale on a lot of World War I combat. And then and to have solitaire on top of it. So you've got, you know, individual level combat and solitaire. I can think of one other game that really jumps to mind that was from Victory Point Games, like Trenches of Valor, I think is what it was called, which was individual level World War I, and in the trench. It was, you know, this is you're taking a trench, that one was in the trench. So maybe I need to do a deep dive, and you do the trench and then take the trench, and I'll add these into, or layer these into that scale. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Love to know your thoughts on this. Have you played this? If so, what edition? Because I believe there are some other editions of this out here. This might be the bare bones edition that I have. Anyway, love to know your thoughts. Thanks for stopping by. As always, I really do appreciate it that you have a lot of choices with your time, and the fact that you spend any of it with me is greatly appreciated. Thanks all. Thanks for watching.